Hey guys, it's Amanda here, your cutie of Carnage. Unfortunately, there was going to be an episode that I planned on, but unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances and whatnot, uh, I would have to delay it. So I decided, other than just skipping filming period, that I decided to go ahead and do a Q&A session. Because since I started this channel, I've had a lot of friends message me, ask me questions about movies, tag me in posts, and I just decided that maybe it would be awesome if I got to answer some of these questions on YouTube versus just emailing people back and forth and giving them my expertise and everything. I was going to go YouTube Live. I decided against it. I'm still kind of new to things, and I'm still kind of getting used to having my face on YouTube. Like I said, it's been years. I haven't done this since, since my last channel. I've had children. I'm 30 years old now. Things have changed since then. So anyways, today's episode is going to be a Q&A, and like I said, I kept getting messages and stuff, so I thought it'd be a really good idea to kind of just go over those questions right now for everybody watching and just see what kind of discussions I can start off between underneath in the comments and whatnot. So let's try this out and see what we got going. Alright, the first question I got was from James, and it says, what introduced you to horror? And why did you fall in love? Why did I fall in love with horror, I guess it means. Basically, I've always loved things dark and demented. I was kind of a weird kid. When I was young, very, very young, the first movie I ever was terrified of was Jaws. And a lot of people say Jaws isn't really considered as more of an action film. It's a very good film, but that movie scared the hell out of me. I still, to this day, I have what's known as, I heard it's called Gallophobia. I hear the theme song, it takes me back. I see the movie poster, I freak out. I do have an appreciation for the movie, and I love Jaws itself, but I am very scared of it. I can't watch certain shark movies because of this. Of course, I can watch Sharknado. Sharknado really isn't anything. Sharknado, Deep Blue Sea, whatnot. I, however, have read Meg, and the adaptation, the film, will be coming out soon, and I don't know how I'm gonna do with that. We'll see. I might get a little scared, I don't know, but whatnot. But Jaws kind of got me into being scared, and I kind of went from there. And then when I was in middle school, I lived in Korea, or in high school I lived in Korea, in middle school I was in Germany, and late night on German TV they would show all these movies, and I remember very young I saw this one movie, and it was gory, it was weird, it was absurd, and it ended up being one of my favorite movies, my guilty pleasures, which I've mentioned many times before, is 976 Evil, a Robert Englund's movie. I love that movie. It's my guilty pleasure. I watch it all the time. And then when I lived in Korea, across the street from the base I lived at, there was this little video rental place. And I used to always go there, and I used to just look up random stuff. But the funny part about the video store is they would have movies that were named one thing and would be another one. Like, I remember I rented Off the Wall, and I fell in love with it. Pink Floyd, Off the Wall. Kind of find out that wasn't the title, but I moved to the States telling people how much I loved Off the Wall. Of course, this is before internet and everything was popular, but anyways, kind of find out it was not called Off the Wall. It's called... So anyways, so I learned that aspect. But then one time I rented a movie, and I thought it was gonna be, what was it? It said something like Halloween 3, and it ended up being like a whole other different movie. Well, then when I actually rented Halloween 3, I watched it, and I thought it was a mistitled movie. I thought it was called something else. We'll kind of find out Halloween 3 has nothing to do with Mike Myers, and it really was Halloween 3. So anyways, and then I started going from there. I started watching Basket Case, like all the trauma films. I used to watch all Traumavilles, and just kind of slowly but surely gotten into horror, all aspects of it. And it's hard to really say, what really drawn me into it, because it kind of was just a full effect. It was kind of like just gradually kind of just escalated from there. So anyways, that was my big horror deal. So all right, Next question is from my friend Matt. All right, Matt Lights from Shreveport. All right, and Matt asks, what is the most underrated horror series in the slasher genre? Wow, that is a good question. I gotta think about that one. I would have to say it's hard to say what the most underrated film is because anything that's pretty good, anything that's good has had sequels and has developed a following. I have to say one of my favorite slasher films has to be. I really like The Burning. I really like The Burning. It, I wouldn't say that was underrated. The Burning. It's a bit. It's one of those movies that I'm glad they didn't make a bunch of sequels, but at the same time, I'm surprised they didn't make a bunch of sequels from The Burning. But I have to say, like that or The Prowler. There's a bunch of other movies. I think Sleepaway Camp has a really good cult following, but I don't think it gets as much recognition, I guess, as but many of the other horror slasher films. But on top of my head, I can just think of The Prowler, The Prowler, The Burning. There's this other movie that, Terror Train. Terror Train. That's one that's underrated. I love Terror Train. That was one of my favorite slasher films. I love Terror Train. You got, what's his name? David Copperfield's in it. No, David Copperfield's his name. The magician is in it. And I remember I just thought it was a great movie. I think it's underrated. I liked it. I don't know. I like weird stuff. I just thought it was pretty cool, and I think that's one of the most underrated slasher films. I love that one. So, anyways, Terror Train. I would say that one right there. All right. So, number 3. Okay, this came from I didn't get the name. Whoops. Sorry about that. Whoever asked me this question, I'm sorry. I forgot to put your name down. But the question is what is the scariest movie I've ever seen? That's basically what the question is. So the scariest movie I've ever seen, Jaws. I answered that one. Jaws. Jaws really isn't that scary per se. I guess it was more the idea of it. I see a lot of gore doesn't scare me. Gore or what scares me about Jaws is the idea of just being the opening scenes, the best example of it, just being somewhere where you don't know what's underneath. You're just my worst dream. My worst dream. One of my nightmares is I have this constantly. Is where I'm on my bed and I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden I feel my bed kind of it goes from sturdy, and all of a sudden I kind of feel kind of relaxed, and my bed kind of melts into a raft, and I'm in the middle of the water, and then I just feel underneath like tapping like that, and my mattress is going up, and I just see water around. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. But yeah, that would be my my main scare right there. So yeah, anyways, that answers that right there. That's the scariest movie I've ever seen. But okay, all right. Let's see. Number 4. Let's see. And this is from my friend Ron. He said, "What makes a good heroine in a horror film?" It's just depending on the genre. I think what makes a good heroine is the appeal of being afraid and still having, how do I explain this? Not being perfect and having flaws to themselves and still being able to kind of overcome, I guess the best way to put it. For example, we can say, best example I can use is kind of like the Final Girls. If anybody's seen the Final Girls, what makes her so great is that she had all these layers to her, and she had so much she was given so much up, I guess the best way, and it gets you to where she's sitting there and she gives up. She loses something, at the same time she's still able to prevail, and she's still able to kick ass and get out of a situation. She's able to stand up and move on, and that's what I like. What makes a heroine more relatable is to have you know, trials, tribulations to overcome to get out of a situation. You know, there's always those badass women. You know, you got, you know, Ripley, you got all the badass women. But I think what really makes a great heroine is being able to relate in a situation and be able to overcome what's in front of them and still being able to be a badass. You know, so I guess that answers the question. The same way with a hero too. What I like about a hero is, you know, them being afraid. I don't really like the heroes that are just kind of like badass or just like, you know, I mean, I'm here to chew bubble. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. You know, you like those kind of heroes, but at the same time, you like the heroes that are, you know, legitimately, you know, scared. They don't know what to do. They're just kind of, but they still tend to prevail. I don't know. These questions kind of got me off guard. I don't know, and I've had a few beers, so y'all just bear with me. I'm sorry, but I've had a few beers. I had to get some of that booze courage. So. All right, let's see. Let's get the next one. All right, let's see. The next one is from good old Wallace. Let's see. Why did you lie to your father, Cassie? Okay. All right. Let's backtrack a little bit on this one. Okay. When I was... All right, let's backtrack a little bit on this one. When I was talking about what got me into horror and stuff, you know, I wasn't so much into just the horror movie itself. I was more obsessed with the making and the effects and whatnot, and I was really interested in it. And when I was younger, I was 19 years old, I moved to Kentucky to be with my uncle and my aunt, and I got into working with this guy named Steve Hudgens, and he had a production company, Big Biting Pig Productions. Y'all should check him out. They make a lot of good movies and whatnot. Well, at the time he was making a movie called Goat Sucker. No, it's not a porn. It's a legitimate horror film. I know what people are thinking. I say Goat Sucker, but it was called Goat Sucker, and I got a acting role in the film. And that whole experience, I learned a lot, you know, just by watching. And I've had a lot of good memories on that set. Steve is a really great guy, and you know, he has great films. He has a few films on Amazon right now. Y'all should really check him out. But anyways, what he's referring to is in the movie. My name is Casey. I don't really remember. I'm 30 now. I was 19 years old. And he watched the movie not too long ago, and he's making fun of one of the plot points of the movie. But I've yet to see the movie, not because I don't support Steve and his film. It's merely because I am terrified to see my little blonde hair, blue-eyed 19-year-old self, curly hair, acting, because I have a feeling that my acting has gotten better over time, and I dread to see what I was in the past, basically. So anyways, y'all should check it out. It's Big Biting Pig Productions, and he is working on a few other films. And just today, actually, it's funny you say that, just today he released some illustrations of the movie. There's a cartoon version of me on his Facebook, which I thought that was really entertaining, because if people, even my friends saw the movie. All my friends seen the movie but me. My parents have seen the movie, my friends have seen the movie. I'm the only person who's yet to see the movie. I know what happens up to you know, my parts of the script, but like I said, I still kind of nervous to watch it, but soon I'll be able to drink heavily and get the nerves to watch it, and maybe we can talk about it on the channel and have a reaction to it. But anyways, that was my point on that. Steve was a really great guy. I have a lot of great memories working on that film. But anyways, I don't know why I lied to my father, Wallace. I don't know why, because that's what Steve wrote in the script. So we'll go with that. All right, let's see what the next one brings me. All right, let's see. Let's pull this back up. Let's see. Here's what I've ever seen. My father was a heroine. Okay, let's see. Best thing I've ever gotten from a con. Okay, I'm assuming that is Comic-Con. Best thing I've ever gotten from a Comic-Con. I gotta look on this wall to, let me look at, I got a few great things from Comic-Con. I have a signed picture from Roscoe from Boo Not Saints. I I've had a few other things that I've gotten, not just from cons, but just from years of collecting. But unfortunately, I lost a lot of stuff due to something that happened a long time ago. I don't want to get into it. Breaks my heart just talking about it. But anyways, a lot of my stuff was stole, unfortunately. So, but I think I have an illustration, Jason Bart, who created Crow. I have an illustration of Taxi Driver that he did, that I got. That I was pretty proud of that when I got that. And I have some pop vinyls that were signed. But you know what? I have to say the best thing I've gotten is there's a guy named Tom Cook. He was an illustrator on He-Man. He illustrated the animated series Godzilla. And going back when I was younger, me and my brother were really into cartoons, because what happens is we lived overseas, so we didn't get a lot of the cartoons that, you know, they got in the States. So my mother would record a bunch of stuff on VHS she would have family members record them from the States, and then they'd mail them over to us and we'd watch them. And I remember one of our biggest shows that we loved watching was Dinosaurs. I don't know if anybody remembers Dinosaurs, but it was like, Dinosaurs! Anyways, that was my karaoke versions of Dinosaurs. Anyways, but we used to watch Godzilla, the animated series. And I used to love watching that. It was like, you know, Godzilla, dun, 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 and Godzuki. I was always Godzuki. My brother was always Godzilla because he, of course, he was a year older than me, so he had to be a Godzilla, and I was always Godzuki. And at the time, I was at Comic-Con. Me and my brother had a falling out, and without getting into detail, we had a falling out. We hadn't been talking for a while, and I remember I was walking through the panels at Comic-Con, and I saw his stand, and I went, oh my god, that he did Godzilla. That's amazing. And I remember I went to the panel, and the lady was like, well, he's on break. He's not gonna be back for like an hour and a half. So I remember standing there and waiting for him to come back. And I was just like, I have to get this. I have to get this. And so he got it. He got the one picture left, because apparently everybody wanted him to sign He-Man. I wanted him to sign Godzilla. So he signed it. And I remember I folded it up. I didn't fold it up. I put it in an envelope. I gave it to my mother. I said, next time you go see my brother, give this to him. And I remember my brother hadn't talked to me in a long, long time. We were really on bad terms. And I remember my mother told me that he saw it. He just got really emotional. And he messaged me, and he was like, you know, you're Godzuki, you know, I love you, something like that. So that kind of rekindled a little bit, you know, of that. So that was really awesome to do that, to have, you know, somebody who, he has no idea what he did, but, you know, that was something that really pulled on my heartstrings and made me happy. So that'd probably be my best thing I got from a con. So let's see, the next question, what makes a villain / monster scary? My big thing about, excuse me, I have to take a little sip here. It's gotten hot in here. Oh, I'm spilling stuff on me. Y'all like my little horror cup? Talked about this in the last video, but I got my little horror cup here. So if I don't spill all this stuff on me, sorry guys, I'm kind of, it's raining cores in here. All right. So what makes a villain / monster scary? Well, what makes a villain scary is the same reason a monster's scary. I like it when a monster isn't so much, like, perfect example, I keep talking about this, Jaws. What's scary about Jaws is that you really don't see the monster per se. You really don't see the shark so much. It's the idea of it. And what makes a villain scary is what the main reason why I hated the Halloween remake is. I love it when there's no motive, really. I love it when there's no motive. There's nothing scarier than somebody's motive, because in real life you see all these killers and stuff, you know, they don't have no motive. They're just fucking crazy. So when I watch a horror film and they try to explain it too much, you kind of lose, because it's not that you identify with the killer, but you start getting ideas like, okay, well, you know, they killed him because of this. Okay, I can see that happening, but they're still, you know, crazy. I like it, Mike Myers, you know, you don't know why he's fucking crazy. He's the shape. He's gonna fucking kill people. That's what makes him scary. But then, you know, Zombie went and his mom was a stripper and his stepdaddy was mean and his sister was a slut. You know, it's, you know, that's kind of like, you know, okay, I get it, but still, it's scarier when he comes from what made it scarier is he was from a good home. You didn't know what the fuck was wrong with the dude. And there's nothing scarier than a person's mind. And just not being able to understand makes it scarier, I believe. So that's my answer for that. So, I mean, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that the remake was great? Because I'm not going to diss Rob Zombie because he does what he does. I'm not going to sit here and knock the guy because I will never diss anybody's art. I will never sit there and say something's awful. I mean, I will, but it's hard for me, even when I think something's bad, I can't help but to respect it because firsthand, I know how much effort and work it is to make a film. And, you know, it's hard for me to sit there and judge somebody saying, well, your shit is shit, when, you know, they worked really hard, and they probably had a lot of heart, and they probably had this is their idea, this is their image, you know. So that being said, you know, there are some shit bombs out there that I could sit here and talk about all day. But at the same point, you know, there's a lot. It's really hard for me to hate a film. So even though I don't like what Ron Zombie did, I can respect it. So that's how I feel about that. Let's see. Let's also look at, see, what makes a monster scary. We answered that one. Sorry, guys. So gonna see in here. Let's take a villain monster scary. Okay, the next question. Does a budget matter when making a great horror film? Good question. This is from Ryan. My friend Ryan. He asked me a couple questions because he's just so great like that. Whenever I need somebody to give me some hard-hitting questions, he's the first one to jump on that. So let's see. Does a budget matter in making a great horror film? I do not think so. Some of the best horror films, you know, are independent, low budget. I can't talk about this enough, but Transfiguration, I'm sorry. I can always say the title when I don't have any beer in my system. There was sometimes when I drink, I just can't say it. Transfiguration is a movie I just saw recently. It was very great. I loved it. It was independent. It was low, you know, it was an independent movie. It didn't have much budget to it, but at the same point, it was great, you know. But then again, Jaws was a big budget film, and I think that was great. So it's all about the story, because you look at budget and you think, what's the budget going to go to? The budget's going to go to effects, it's going to go to the actor, or it's going to go to rights, it's going to go to something. So it's just depending on the budget itself. But really, a budget does not make a good horror film, because I've seen a lot of independents. Steve Hudgens, for example, you know, he makes some pretty good films. I don't know if Ghost Sucker's any good, the movie I was in, because I haven't seen it. But he does pretty good work. So, anyways, no, I don't think budget makes a good horror film at all. So, let's see. And this one is from our very own Jeremy. All right, Jeremy asks, what is the scariest genre of horror and why? Oh man, that is a very good question. I think my favorite genre of horror films, man, that is so hard to answer, because I have favorites from every genre. There's not really a favorite genre that I like per se, but I think the best genre has to be maybe lately. That's a hard one. That's hard to say, because creature features have been kind of like the go-getter for good horror lately. I really like a good old monster movie. But at the same point, you know, slashers, I would used to say slasher was my favorite genre, but lately I've been kind of not digging it so much. So I have to say the best genre, I think, would be creature feature, really, because you can't go wrong with a monster. You can't go wrong with, you know, a creature. It is what it is. You know, a slasher film can get done and overplayed, but I think a good old creature feature is where it's at. You can never go wrong. You know, even the tackiness, you're still going to get what you pay for. So, all right, so that's my answer for that one. Let's see here. We're getting to the end now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Alright, this is also from Jeremy. Which classic slasher is scarier and why? Classic slasher film. I have to say, the best... I can say that there's a bunch of slasher films out there that are very good. We can go back to Scream. I liked Scream. But you also... You have to give credit where credit's due. And I was a really big fan of the original Maniac. I liked Maniac. I liked, a lot of people talk about this. The hipsters always talking about Peepin' Tom. That one's a good one. But you also have to look at Halloween. I mean, I know it's overdone. Everybody always says Halloween. But that was a very good film. It wasn't just a good slasher film or horror film. It was a good film altogether. It was just, it had a suspense to it. It had great music. And Friday Blade pointed out not too long ago, they said, you actually watch the film without the music, it's really not that good. And I haven't, but I could see what he was talking about, because honestly, the music made the film. So, kind of like, and you see that a lot with a lot of my favorite films. Like, I loved It Follows, and It Follows had a lot of Halloween tropes too. It had a lot of homages to Halloween in it, and I love that film. And the music itself in It Follows was a key player also. So yeah, I would have to go with Halloween on that one, as cliche as that sounds. So let's see, scariest genre, slasher. Manda. Hello, Manda. Oh man, it's so cute. Okay. Favorite horror musical. Wow, this one is a good one. Of course, everybody knows, if you look up here, well, you can't see it, but right above me, I have a lot of Rocky Horror Picture Show dolls. I'm really big into Rocky Horror Picture Show. I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. Every year I dress up and I go and everything. And unfortunately, we had a Rocky Horror event that I was going to videotape and interview people and stuff. It was going to be good fun, but unfortunately, it got rained out and canceled, so... Oh, well, maybe next year, right? But there's a bunch of them. I liked, let's see. Of course, I liked Rocky Horror. I liked Repo Genetic Opera. Funny thing about Repo the Genetic Opera is I was dating a guy at the time, and I remember I saw the trailer they used to have the Scream Awards. They used to have the Scream Awards. I don't know if they have them anymore. I don't hear from them anymore, but they featured the trailer at, the Scream Awards. And I used to always Google on upandcominghorrormovies.com, and I used to always look at movies, and I remember I saw that, and before the movie trailer came out, they had a promo thing, they had a promo tape, and it had Amanda from Saw. She was actually in one of the scenes. So, I have to find that link. I gotta find that link and put it in, and we can watch it and kind of review it and stuff, but I want to see if I can find it. But it's really awesome. It has Amanda from Saw in it, and she's also in Becker. But I remember I wanted that they weren't showing it in Texarkana, and I was all about it. I was like, oh, I have to see it, because it was, it was really popular. This is back in MySpace. It was really popular in MySpace. It was the same time that Evil Dead the musical came out, and so it was this big thing on MySpace. And so we were gonna drive out to Little Rock and see it. But it didn't turn out that way. So what happened was my friend went and got a DVD version of it, early DVD version of it, and I watched it and I fell in love, and I made everybody around me watch it, and everybody was just like, they're singing through the whole movie. So, but I'm a stickler for musicals. Like, you can see a lot of what you can't see behind the camera. I have Sweeney Todd, I have Opera, which was really good. Stage Fright with Meatloaf. It's Stage Fright for Meatloaf. Wait, Stage Fright. What? Woo, Amanda, slow down now. You gotta calm down, girl. Okay. Anyways, so Stage Fright has Meatloaf in it, which of course I heard another horror musical with Meatloaf. I just had to jump on that horse, and so that was on Netflix for a while, and so that was pretty good. But yeah, there's a bunch of them that I liked, but I have to say, of course, Rocky Horror. But So Rocky Horror, Sweeney Todd, and Repo, and Shock Treatment, which a lot of people don't know. Shock Treatment was actually the sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show that a lot of people don't know about it. There's a few select people who know about it, but not many people do, and it was pretty interesting. Y'all should check it out if you can. It's called Shock Treatment. Richard O'Brien, so check it out. It's a sequel, and it doesn't have any of the same people. It just has Richard O'Brien, of course, the creator, and then it has Columbia and Magenta, Patricia, Quinn, all of them are in it. So, all right, let's see. We're getting to the end now, y'all. All right. Best experience at a Comic-Con. Best experience at a Comic-Con. Best experience. I had a few good experiences at Comic-Cons. I remember when I met Father Gabriel. See, I don't get to go to a lot of cons and stuff because I am a mother of a 2-year-old girl, and right now my fiance is in Afghanistan, so I'm pretty much a single mom right now. So I don't really get to do much, but when I do, you know, I like to do it big, and I cosplayed as Hunter S. Thompson, and if you see the hat over there, I cosplayed as Hunter S. Thompson. I remember walking around the con, and everybody thought I was Johnny. They kept saying Johnny Depp. They're like, "Oh, you're Johnny Depp. You're Johnny Depp." And it was really funny because when I met Father Gabriel from Walking Dead, it was pretty cool because he was like, "Hey, I know who you are." And then I met, you know, Jason Mewes. He was like, "I know who you are. That's cool." And before that, I did a cosplay as Alex DeLarge, and I remember I was wearing my Alex DeLarge costume, and this young drag queen was like, "Oh my God, I love Madonna." So she thought it was Madonna, so, which I don't know where she got Madonna from, but hey, you know, she liked my costume, so that's all that really mattered. So let's see. Oh, it's getting hot in here. Gotta drink another one. Ah, there we go. All right. So, got a question that I gotta pull this up. Let's see, everybody. So, let's pull this sucker up. It is getting hot in here. It's so hot, my extensions are about to fall out. Ah, this question is from Angela Potter, a good friend of mine from back in Korea. I told her I'd give her a shout out and everything. She's pretty awesome. I was gonna do Facebook Live, or not Facebook Live, I'm sorry, YouTube Live, because I really do Facebook Live a lot, but I'm starting to get into YouTube. I decided to, you know, kind of do more YouTube Live, and I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous about doing that because I'm a shy person. Contrary to belief, I'm really shy when it comes to the internet. I get really nervous and flustered. But anyways, all right. Angela asks, "Oh dude, I would I love her. Oh dude, I would very genuinely like to know if you thought it was really scary, because I didn't, and I think it's because I read the book first. Which, you know, your imagination can be more terrifying than anything on the screen. So I would like to know what your personal thought about the movie It was." I knew where that was going. All right, my personal opinions on It. I loved it. I thought it was great. That being said, a lot of people that read the book or seen the miniseries are just like, "Oh, it could have been this, could have been that." You have to look on this way. When it comes to the miniseries, there are both different aspects. There are both different aspects of the creature. Okay, Tim Curry played him as a clown. Okay, Skarsgård played him as a creature. His mouth was watering, whatnot. So, I thought it was great. I liked it. Then again, I never read the book. Yeah, shoot me. I'm not one of those people that are gonna sit here and lie and say I read the book, because I didn't read the book. I'm not. I will eventually get to it, but like I said, it's really hard nowadays to read when I work. I have a 2-year-old daughter, so I do what I can. But anyways, that's my opinion on it. I thought it was great. I thought it was fan-freaking-tastic. So anyways. Alright, guys. I think we're coming to the end of these questions. Let's see. One more question. Let's see. Alright, what? This is from Kim5. I'm not saying all those numbers. Favorite channels on YouTube you enjoy and recommend? Well, that is a mouthful right there because I watch a lot of things on YouTube. I watch a lot. Let's see. I watch. Okay, I'll talk about a channel right now. Earlier today I did a live Q&A kind of thing with the horror show. With Cecil Laird and Marsha Parker and Wago. Anyways, but I watched them a lot. They kind of influenced me to get back on the YouTube channel bandwagon, I said, and today I was feeling really flustered. I felt, you know, kind of like giving up because a few things happened and I was feeling very discouraged, and they had a few words that kind of brought me back to, you know, the surface. So, you know, they're pretty cool people and I like watching them. So them and let's see, I like watching Chris Stuckman get Stuckmanized. God, putting me on the spot here. There's a bunch of stuff I like to watch. So it's just a lot of horror related, movie related kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I do. And so that brings us to the end of the question. So yeah, I appreciate everybody watching tonight. I wanted to do this because I felt really I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've been feeling really discouraged lately. Because a lot of things have been happening with the channel, haven't really been going the way I've been wanting them to go, and it's really hard being and I don't want to sound that way, but it's really hard to be a girl in the horror community right now. I have a few friends in the community who actually do take me seriously, who, you know, talk to me about films and stuff, but there's this undermining kind of feel like sometimes when I go to, you know, gatherings, I guess, and stuff, and I meet people and I talk to them, they're kind of like, oh, you're just too, I guess this way, I'm not trying to call myself pretty, but a lot of people don't take me seriously because I do my nails, I get my hair done, and I'm not, you know, I speak like in a very cheerful accent, I'm very. Anyways, that being said, it's really hard for people to take you seriously. For example, I asked people for questions for this Q&A, and most of the questions I got were, you know, are you single, what's your bra size, etc., etc. And it's really discouraging sometimes. You know, it's very discouraging sometimes when, you know, you have this passion and you have this love, and then you just feel like people are constantly just telling you can't do it, or why don't you go be a model, or this or that, or, you know, nobody's gonna watch you on YouTube and it's a waste of time and stuff. So that being said, I'm not going anywhere. So if you guys watch, thank you for your support. Everybody in this community who have been nothing but cheerful to me and everything, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, and I'm very blessed. So that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all just remember, be nice to each other. Be nice to each other. Love each other. There's too much hate in the world going around. There's too much anger. There's too much just hatred going out. So everybody just be nice to each other. Be kind to each other. Everybody's different. Everybody has different ways of looking at things. Don't hate on people because they like something that you don't like or something. Everybody's different. You know, opinions are like assholes, you know. They're all pretty dirty. So, my friend told me that. I don't think that's pretty cute. So, let's X that one out. Pretend I didn't say that. Anyways, so. Alright, guys. Well, everybody, good night. Have a good one, and I will talk to you later. Alright, bye!